Welcome back, everyone. Wasn't that a fast week? This is episode 438 of Fine Music, and we're turning to our leadoff man, the man who knows how to make music shake and rumble, Fred Whitlock.
I've gone back to listen to some British jazz again. It seems to be a very rich scene in London these days with jazz musicians exploring all kinds of avenues. Moses Boyd has an album out that came out in 2020, Black Matter. And he said in an interview, the music represents that 90% of the universe is black matter. And this jazz is universal. It has elements of rock fusion, Afrobeat, electronics, some dance beat. It has one of the cuts has a conversation going on. Another cut has a rapper. It's a great album. It really pushes the limits of jazz and takes it into new worlds. It's a place where the conversation brings the past and the present of jazz together. And Boyd's on drums. He's a drummer, and he keeps this beat just going. And the boundaries are broken. Like I said, there's so many different ways this music goes. There's some great drumming on a cut called Yo-Yo. There's a furious guitar comes up in ETB, and it's funky sometimes and kind of hard jazz bop. It's a great dialogue between the players, and it shows. I've been reviewing some different British jazz musicians, and it seems like the scene is on fire over there. Another from England, Leeds, is the Sorcerers. And this album just came out earlier this year in 24, I Am a Stranger. They have another album, 2020, which is pretty cool, In the Search of the Monkey God. They throw in a lot of different things. It's a definitely springboard of sound. Has bass, drums, and guitar work, keyboards, reeds coming in, hot rhythms, kind of Ethiopian jazz flavor to some of the stuff. Trumpet comes in, a lot of percussion. I would highly recommend this album if you like jazz rock with an Ethiopian fusion sound. Then I discovered he's got a couple albums out. Chuck Johnson, though he lives in Nashville, he's a steel guitarist and a guitarist. He does ambient Americana. This is a instrumental ambient album. It's called Sun Glories. It has guitar work on it, organs, synthesizers. He brings in a couple of other musicians. He's on steel guitar and guitar, and has a drummer. It's an electronically enhanced saxophone comes up once in a while. There's a string arrangement on Ground Wave, that great cut. Broke Spectrum has some hot guitar playing on it, and it gets hypnotic rhythms, and the notes just shift around in a very interesting way. He says in his own words, this is about the arrival of a sunny day. And it's definitely, if you like synthesizer, ambient music that's interesting and not boring, this is an album to check out, Sun Glories. Then I discovered another electronic artist who calls himself Rich Ruth. His actual name is Michael Ruth. And he has a very distinct sound and kind of has classical touches of ambient music, and it's has echoes of prog rock in it, guitar, saxophone. A couple of cuts have a very aggressive saxophone playing on it, drumming. It has a jazz rock feel to some of the cuts, and there's a great cut, Crying in the Trees, that stretches out in a free-form jazz feeling, and it's a great workout. Someone wrote that it's a touch of slow down Black Sabbath and a workout of Alice Coltrane. So if you ever heard those two, this would give you a little bit of image of what he does. It's a great core of sound, and it keeps you intrigued through the whole album. Then last but not least is a group I discovered, Cosmic Dead. The Cosmic Dead is an instrumental group. It's heavy metal mixed with space rock, jam band. There's only 2 cuts on the whole album. Space Mountain and Navigation, and they're broken up in parts. The minute the whole album starts, you're immersed in this sound of rock guitar, and then it gets spacey and trippy. Psychedelic sounds come in. It's a great jam through the whole thing. It has a touch of not only the drone of psychedelic music and guitar work, but it has a touch of that whole kraut rock scene that was in Germany in the 70s. And it has synthesizer joining in on them once in a while and some brass. It's James McKay on guitar, and he just wallops that guitar. It's a juggernaut of sound, and it leaves you just like, wow. You just say, wow. And someone wrote that this is not an album you just drop in on. You got to stay for the whole scene. And then I found out that digitally they released a live album or live recordings, and it's 3 hours of them jamming. So if you get into this album and you want more, look them up on your digital sites, and you'll find some more great music. The Cosmic Death.
All right.
Yes, Murray. Not of approval. All right, I approve as well. Great work, Fred. Let's move on.